I'm like Mota, marijuana, and I pull. That was when this is before marijuana was legalized in California, so you had to have a medical marijuana card, which I did, and it was like a fucking the Declaration of Independence paper with like in cursive and shit, and it was, I had my name, why I needed it, and all this bullshit. They don't really need it. At that point, you could have told them my fucking balls feel funny, and they would have gave it to you. You know what I mean? Like it would have. You could have told them, I can't sleep at night because my wife's a bitch, and they would be like, "Oh, okay, your wife's a bitch," and would have gave it to you.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to fill the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now. While the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Sorbavelli back in the place to be, La Merca Superior Palace 81 Studios. We in the building, live in effect, live and direct. It's your boy Mr. Nine Times. Yeah, you already know, ya tu sabe, we already back in the place to be. Yeah, I love having like fucking 4 intros, different intros I could just mess with. I hate that this chord, this fucking free floating shit is just bouncing and flipping and flapping around. Yeah, so who lived in a pineapple under the... Okay, so enough joking arounds. Ben, yeah, it's kind of corny saying, how many episodes am I going to mention how I'm busy? Should I just say, you know what I'm doing, or you already know what I do, or what the fuck? I really don't know. But I love this camera angle. You can see my beautiful house, my beautiful home, my tranquil space of thoughts, clarity, and solidarity in solitude. Yes. So thank you very much for cupping titties, stopping by. Is saying what's up to your dog, Big Serbs. First things first, I want to send a much needed speedy recovery to the homie Noah James. He's been going through something. I seen him in a hospital, and it was kind of bugged out, man. I was working, and yesterday... when I think he posted something where he was like, yeah, I'm in the ER or something like that. When someone says they're in the ER, I don't take that lightly. Like, I'm thinking, like, I've been in the ER many times, so I know for me or for someone else. So I already know the whole get down. Like, you're not there for a Band-Aid. Jesus Christ, how many people are going to knock on my fucking door? Every time someone knocks on my door, interrupts the broadcast, I want to shoot somebody. Hold up. Let me see what we got going on real quick. Fucking interrupting the whole shit. I'm over here talking about my homie and these fucking asshole drivers. Fuck is this shit going on right here? Hold on, son. Fuck is that? Let me see what this shit right. And of course, it's something I buy. Of course, it's something I buy. I don't got a knife on me, so I'm just gonna have to fucking... You can always count on Amazon to give you your shit, like when you're in the middle of doing something. You can always count on Amazon to fucking give you your order, deliver your shit when you're in the middle of doing something or when you're not home or something like that. Thank you, Amazon, for just being a complete fucking nuisance, pain in the assholes. You know what I mean? Try to open this with one hand and fuck this thing up. Look at this shit. Shit right here. Paper? Fucking brown paper? What am I gonna do with this shit? Huh? Well, I look like Basquiat. I'm gonna lay this shit down and make some paintings and shit. Fuck out of here. Ooh, this shit looks sexy. Hold on. I got my my shit. I told them, you know when you go on Amazon and it says delivery with fewer packages? I did that. If not, I would have had my shit yesterday. But no, Amazon just wants to do some bullshit. So this is all that they get. They use this big ass box, flat ass, rectangular rhombus looking ass box to deliver me my Pokemon 2024 calendar. Look at that. Wow. Pikachu. So hopefully this shit looks legit. It's by the Pokemon Company, Nintendo, Game Freak. That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. This shit looks sick as fuck. There's another calendar with the moves, but I think it was more money, and it was like, I don't know. I just didn't. The moves they used on the moves calendar wasn't even that dope to me. It was like moves we already knew, like Squirtle using water gun. That was cool, but like use some shit that you wouldn't think. Like we would like the fucking popular demographic wouldn't know, like water, Aqua Tail or Bubble or some shit like that. But this is cool. You got so Charizard on the 2023. I'm guessing that's the first page. Why would they? You see this shit, Charizard on the 2023. Why would they do that? Okay, then we have fucking Alola Ninetales, and I want to say that's Alola Darumaka for January. Horrible. Like, why'd I get? Oh, because I get his December, then January. Ew. So I guess for January, I'm Darumaka. Go fuck yourself, Pokemon. You see, whoever designed this calendar, bro, you done fucked up my birthday month, dog. Really. Darumaka? I mean, the design is cute. He looks like a little fucking snowball with like big ass ice shard eyebrows and fucking like ghost eyes and shit. But I don't really like that. All right. I'm not gonna lie. They do got the spirals on it, which is I got the spiral style painting series. If anyone is inquiring for a good painting in their home, let your dog know. Yes. This shit retail was $16. But I think I bought it for like $19. It's fine. You know, they're going to rip you off somewhere. Amazon got to make their money. They got to make their margin somewhere, right? Okay, moving on. We get Salamence for February. Why? Who gives a fuck about people's birthdays in February, dog? Salamence, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. The fucking month after my birthday month. Fuck you. Okay, then we got Turtwig for March. Let me break something down to you. And nobody really liked Turtwig, all right? Except the younger fans and shit that they really like. They're not into Pokemon. They're just like, oh, this is such a cute little design. All right, check this out. This fucking turtle looks like, what's that? The Triceratops from The Land Before Time, Iggy or whatever the fucking shit is. And we got Hitmonchan for May, one of my favorite Pokemon. Looks like he's gonna fucking box you out, Pacquiao style, Mayweather style, Tyson style, uppercut your ass into oblivion. Yes. May. Okay, May's not a bad month. I got some homies in the family. They got birthdays May. I appreciate that. Sylveon for June. Sylveon is a cool Pokemon. I'm not too fond of Sylveon. So I guess the design is okay. I kind of like the whatever it is. They're like fucking ribbons that float around it and shit. That's cool. Then we have I forgot the fox, the one that looks like Swiper the Fox, and I think that's Purloin or something like that right there. I mean, they're cool designs, you know. I'm not too fond of the new school designs. I'm more of like Sinnoh, everything Sinnoh before, you know what I mean? So these are I want to say Galar, right? Galar, those are Galar Pokemon. I'm not too fond of it. That this balloon, the water balloon type Pokemon, I think evolves from Poplio. Not a big fan. Then we have Rampardos, one of the sickest dinosaur designs. You know I fucking love dinosaurs and dragons. So of course Charizard, of course Salamence. And Rampardos just looks like sick as hell, dude. Like I love the color combinations, gray, black, blue with the red eyes. Makes me think of like the Red Eyes Black Dragon, the white spikes. I mean, everything about the design of Rampardos, and especially because it revolves from Cranidos. Cranidos is actually a really good design too, but I think Rampardos is superior. Then we have, I think that's Lampent and Miss Drevis. Those are two good designs, a haunting ass ghost, and like I think that's supposed to be just the head of a person, which is nice. Then we have everyone's favorite Pikachu, holding his little fucking cheek, electric sax, pause, in November. Now, November is one of my favorite months, and we have a cute Pikachu right there for November. I really like that. Then we have Quilava, one of my favorite Typhlo. I mean, the whole Cyndaquil, Typhlosion, Quilava line, I really liked it simply because they were like the newer generation, like the second gen offerings of Pokemon. And so I think Quilava is a really good design, especially after playing Pokemon Coliseum. That was the first shadow Pokemon I chose to rescue. If you've never played Pokemon Coliseum, there is, and this is for December, there is a point in the game where you can only choose one out of the three Johto starters. So you can either choose Cyndaquil, Totodile, or Chikorita. And in the order I caught them, actually, wait, no, did I choose Totodile first? Fuck, I don't even remember. But I think Quilava was the first one I chose. No, wait, if it's the second tier, then it's Croconaw, Quilava, and Bayleaf. So I don't know. I'm confused as fuck right now. Pokemon Coliseum, if you've never played it, is probably the hardest Pokemon game. One of the hardest Pokemon games. Definitely the hardest Pokemon game I've ever played. Easiest will probably be that just kind of varies with the easiest. I'll say Arceus, Legends Arceus was like the most easy in the way that it's just super, just kind of straightforward. You don't got to do too much, you know what I mean? Sword and Shield, as far as like had the easiest battles for me. Scarlet was actually kind of pretty difficult. Like I found myself, like usually I like just running through the Elite Four, like just stomping them out, like because I already know, like I'm already an experienced veteran as Pokemon player, so I already know the type advantages and kind of like the special, what Pokemon like do, like the damage with special attacks and base attacks. I'm like on a whole nerdy ass Pokemon rant right now because we skipped over some things, but yeah, I love Pokemon if you didn't know already, if that wasn't too fucking clear. Yeah, but definitely my favorite Pokemon, Coliseum is actually one of the harder Pokemon games. I definitely think it's like a Pokemon game everyone should play. It introduced double battles, which is like, if you don't like them, they suck. But if you do enjoy them, and it's more of like a strategy thing, then you really do like them. I mean, I don't really care as long as I have fun, and I think that's just like the bottom line. You should just have fun with whatever game you play. You know what I mean? Going back to Noah James, he was, I don't know the current state of right now, but last night he took a video of himself. He was in like the ER. He was all, hooked up to the machines or whatever it was. And it was bugged out, man. When I seen that shit, I was like, fuck, dude. Like, I know Noah James, he's had like health problems and things of that nature. And anytime anybody is in like that kind of condition, it always, you know what I mean? I always like pray and bring that good energy out there for them to get better, because it's like, I know what it's like to be in like dark places like that and like no one gives a fuck. So yeah, man, prayers and speedy recovery to the homie Noah James. Hopefully everything squares itself out. Everything gets better for the homie. Just wanted to have a quick shout out for him out there. because he's a really cool dude. You know what I mean? If I wouldn't have taken my time out for anybody else, I would have, if it was someone I could give a fuck about, it'd be like whatever, right? But yeah, just shout out Noah James, man. He's fucking. Hopefully everything is all right. Crazy Bone is getting better. He was on Instagram and he was saying thank you to everybody that was praying for him and shit. So that's awesome, man. Anytime our beloved figures in hip hop and just culture in general, anytime they bounce back, you know what I mean, from some real life threatening things of that nature. I mean, we're all gonna go one day, but like when it just like on some I don't know, like with COVID kind of like you heard these rappers, they got COVID, they went to the hospital and then they died. Like it was like kind of like a quick thing. But when when rappers, they go to the hospital and they get checked out and they're all good and they get released or whatever and it just turns out good, I think that's dope, man. You know what I mean? I definitely want to put that out there and recognize that. So what else? Should we talk about my weekend after? I don't know, man. You already know this is like the most unprofessional professional podcast out there. Abe the Freak. We did the podcast. I've been posting the clips on Instagram and for my Instagram first, I got like 500 views on a reel. I mean, I've never gotten 500 views. Usually I get around 100. The most views I've ever gotten on a reel or on a video in general might be like somewhere between like 150, 200 views. And I'm not celebrating like, oh, we're getting views. Like the more views, run up the views. Like, no, like this is something like, wow, like I've never achieved that before. And I really recognize that as like me achieving things I've never done. You know what I mean? I don't think about views and likes in that way. It's just kind of more so like, oh, that's what's up, man. I appreciate it. What that tells me is the people like it. And that's all. Like, I don't want views for bullshit I say. I don't want views because people think it's funny that I make fun of whatever, or like I look like an ass clown on the clips or whatever. That's the whole point. Like, I want you to laugh at me and the stupid shit that I do on the internet because that's what this is for. If I was like taking myself too seriously, and like that wouldn't be fucking cool. That wouldn't be funny. You know what I mean? So shout out to Abe the Freak, man. We killed it. We got 500 views on the clip where I said something about well, actually, this is a quote from Jesse saying, know where you stand. And then from my perspective, I took that as, don't let nobody, if you know you're dope, don't let nobody tell you otherwise. And a lot of people, they fuck with that. A lot of artists, a lot of rappers in our circle and artists of that nature, they really dig that. And so that's all I want out of this shit, man, is the people to kind of recognize and embrace their individual artistry, because I'm not going to be one of I never like being that person, oh, like you should stop rapping, like you fucking suck, or like, don't take it seriously, or just shooting down anybody's dream, because who the fuck am I to tell you when to stop rapping? All I can do is encourage you. Like, if this is what you want to do, if this is what you like, then do it. What I will criticize is people doing it for anything other than that. You know what I mean? But as long as you love doing this music shit, it's not easy. It's not something that's like an investment, or like a sure investment that you're gonna get a return. Like, music is something that you could put everything into and you might not get shit back out of it. Like, I definitely have gotten 1% of everything I put into it, from like my physical, my mental, spiritual, like everything. You probably shouldn't do that, but it just goes to show, when you sacrifice that much for this game, for the music, it just shows you like the difference between you and like everybody else. So once again, shout out Abe the Freak. I definitely got more podcasts lined up on the way that I want to do in person. I did the Looney interview on YouTube, but I didn't like it because there was like clicks and like a bunch of pops in the audio, and I hate that. Like, as an engineer, as a listener, as somebody who doesn't want the listener experience ruined by technical difficulties and all that, I didn't like the interview. You're trying to listen to us talk, and it's like pop, 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 pop in the background, and it's very, to me, it's really, as an engineer, it's very noticeable, like very in your face. Like, there's no hiding the fact that this shit is all not good to listen to. So we're definitely going to be working on podcasts, and I want to diversify my profile. I don't like, I kind of get tired just sitting here in front of the camera by myself talking my shit. I love talking to you guys and sharing my opinions, and I will, like today, like I have some things I want to talk about. But when it's like I feel like I have to talk about shit just because I need to fill in a week of on my bio it says every Friday I'm going to give you content every Friday, but then also I'm like, fuck, man, I don't have shit to talk about. So like, what is there even like to say? I think I've only missed 2 weeks out of like the almost 2 years, which is crazy. 2 years flies by, guys, but we're going to talk about that during the 2-year anniversary. It's crazy how time flies. I think I've only missed 2 weeks out of the 2 years. So let's say one week a year. But we're at 129 episodes or something like that, and there's 55 weeks. So you guys do the math. 110, like I'm ahead by like 20 episodes. There were some weeks I would do two episodes in a week, or 3. I think I've done like 4 in a day. I think I've done that at least one time. I think it was last year. I just have like content lined up, and I want everybody to know that it's on and popping whenever I can. Let's see. This shit is going down, man. Israel and Palestine are at war, and this shit is on and popping. There's like new updates every hour or whatever, every minute, or whatever your local listings are. It seems like it's gonna go down, man. I don't really know too much, so I don't really want to say too much. I just want to send my peace, prayers, and condolences to all the people out there that are struggling during this conflict. Me personally, I'm looking at it like kind of like a Vietnam thing where we shouldn't get involved, because I feel like it's gonna go nowhere. We should already learn from Vietnam. We should already learn from Korea. We should learn from Iraq and Afghanistan. We should learn that we should probably mind our own fucking business. So, like I said, I'm not gonna go too in depth. I'm just gonna shorten it to just like, there's so many problems in the US that we need to kind of like wipe our own ass before we try to wipe everyone else's ass for them. I think I seen a video with Candace Owens talking about the same thing, where we have our own problems, yet we try to be like the bigger brother to like the rest of the world, which is true, because we're not the superpower that we once were. Like, at one point, the US in history was the world's bigger brother, or the world's superpower, or whatever shit like that. But it's not like that anymore. It's definitely, I think the big 3 is Russia, China, and the US, right? However the pie is divided up, I just want to like think that, I would like to think that we shouldn't get involved. You know what I mean? Obviously, like, they're talking shit or whatever, like death to Americans. It's like, who cares? Like, am I like, unless you're gonna do shit, like, you should shut the fuck up, because they don't want the smoke. They really don't. Like, whatever these fools are like going at it over, they really don't want the smoke that they're allegedly asking for, because we'll definitely bring it. We definitely aren't pussy. I feel like the history shows that we're not pussy when it comes to fighting what we believe is right. You know, that's a very controversial opinion in and of itself. But I mean, I'm ready. I'm not ready to go to war over politics. But if you bring it to my doorstep, I will not hesitate to shoot one of you psycho motherfuckers in the face with a Sig Sauer Hollow Point. That is a fact. That is a promise. I promise you. You come through this door and it is on. We don't speak anymore of war. Shout out to System of a Down. We don't speak anymore of war. I fuck with that shit. System of a Down's first album might be better than the second album. The second album was a lot more commercial, and their first album was just like sick as fuck. It was like a blend of like a whole bunch of different genres. And they got that Sick World Order, I think it's called. It's going down in Las Vegas. I want to go with my pop. And my dad's like, why don't you invite your sister? I'm like, because she don't like System, Pop. She never bumped none of this shit. Like, my sister, she don't like no types of rock music. Like, not at all. Like, barely even Sublime. And Sublime is barely rock. That shit is like, what the fuck is going on? I hear shit. I think that's like a truck or something. But like, yeah, like Sublime is like reggae and it's a blend of, it's more like ska rock, really. Like that's what it is. It's like a blend of reggae and almost like hip hoppy at times and shit like that, which is dope. But you know, my sister was never into Rage or System or like AC/DC shit that me and my pop were into. So Drake stole the whole Griselda sound that I feel like, I feel like it's more like Mock and West Side Gun. He got Conductor Williams on the beat for, I think it's called 8 a.m. in Charlotte. And with Drake, it's always like, Drake is like the WWE of music. And what I mean by that is, so when during the Monday Night Wars, WWE would just copy his competition. Vince McMahon would copy his competition, like ECW. When WWE would have tables, ladders, and chair matches, which would already be on ECW. Then in WCW, he had like a cruiserweight division. WWE then started doing like a light heavyweight division. So Drake is the WWE version in that he copies like everyone else and he just jacks their shit and he waters it down. He did this on the what's the chick with the ugly face cover with 21 Savage, their album. I don't even know that album name, but there's one song where it's like boom bap-ish almost. And he's talking, the beat is awesome, but the Drake is talking about shit that got nothing to do with nothing or no street shit. Like if you're gonna have like real street elements of hip hop in your music, you better talk about that shit or make it up. Cause I don't want to hear about how you miss Philippe Chow's at 6 p.m. because you were getting your toenails done at fucking Ming Ming's salon. No disrespect or not even to throw no derogatory shit, but it's just like, that's how I feel like it is. And with the new track that he came out with the shout out Conductor Williams, he's getting a good look. Awesome. The producer, the beat, awesome. Drake over here with this fucking lame ass lyrics. It's just not enough. Like, go talk that weak ass shit over the 40 beats or whatever it is, Hit Boy or whoever it is. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to water down and confuse people like if this is your lane, because it's not. Like, this is that literally when I seen that, I'm like, oh, Drake is literally trying to incorporate the underground with his bullshit. And I don't mean to disrespect him or offend him in any way. I don't want Drake, like, if Drake's gonna watch this shit, I don't want him to feel like, you know, this is an attack or whatever. It's just like, I really love this underground hip hop shit. And I know that he posted Makami. I mean, he's definitely been involved with the culture, but it's like, what he likes to do is he likes to to fucking dip his toes in the water and then just back out and then do like the Afrobeat album or some other shit. You know what I mean? Like, really, like, you're a fan of this, bro. So why don't you help the culture out more than just trying to take from it? Like, it's not about what you take from. It's not about, it's better to give than receive and all that. Like, what are you giving to the culture, Drake? Like, okay, you're just giving us a new song, but you're taking the sound. Like, you've done that already with The Weeknd. I Love McConan. You did that with fucking XXX Tentacion. You did that with everything. Like, every time Drake drops a new album, he's like a new ethnicity. He's a new nationality. Like, he's talking Jamaican in some songs. The next album he might be having a Russian accent and or whatever the fuck. Like, Drake is a real flip-floppity pancake ass fool. And I'm just like, fool, like, just pick a side. And I guess that if you're like if your career is on a decline already, I guess that's what you have to do. You have to pull out all the stops and the stunts. Like, oh shit, like, what do we got to do now? Take this full sound. Fuck it. What else we got to do? Sound like these people. Completely just jack dance hall music. Like, these are the things that fools do when they're starting to become irrelevant and they're pop stars and they have like machines behind them and they're not real organic grassroots artists. You know what I mean? No disrespect to him, but like Hobson say, he's not a rapper. He's like an idea. Like, people write his shit or whatever it is, and then he's like this figure. He's like this puppet of like what he could really be, of like what he really is. So I don't know, man. It's just wild to me when I seen that shit. And the song, and he sounds like Wes or Mock or something like that. It's definitely somewhere between Wes and Mock, like the flow and like even the beat he picked. Like, he could have had Conductor Williams make him a beat that didn't have a Griselda sound. Conductor Williams could have did some other shit, but he wanted that. He wanted the Griselda sound without the Griselda accolades and all that shit. Like, I think what he thought gave him the green light was doing a song with Benny. That's cool or whatever. Has that song even come out? I don't even know. I'm not even tapped in like that to Griselda, which is I'm sad to say at this point. It's just like, really, I'm not listening to any new rap. Like, I'm literally going back and listening to like old Mobb Deep shit. That's really where I'm at right now. I'm bumping Murder Music. And like, none of really like the new music is inspiring me, but maybe I'll come back to it. I don't know, but just for the moment in time, it's not Makami, like, yeah, like Mock's new shit, of course I'm gonna be bumping that, but I'm not really on the drum work shit. I'm not really on Wes's new album. I think I heard Rome Streets' new album. It was cool, but I guess I didn't go back to it. There's some dope songs though. I'm not saying it's trash or has no replay value. There's dope songs on their new albums. It's just the Griselda album. What would Sheen Gun do? That was fire. But I don't know. It's just I'm not in that zone right now. And the whole thing with Joe Budden and shit. Drake is also doing this shit because he's like gaining irrelevancy. He's just like starting beefs for his album rollout and all that shit, which I think is corny. Charlemagne said he doesn't need it. He really doesn't. All he needs to do is stop being corny and come out with some real dope albums. And when I mean dope, I'm saying like real truthful, like from the soul. Like, he likes talking about he's been talking about the same shit for over 10 years. Like, whatever, like how he's like so dope, or like braggadocious rhymes, or bitches, or money, or designer shit. Like, who cares, bro? Like, Drake has never told us his struggles and where he comes from, and I feel like that's because there's nothing exciting there. Because he already would have said that, like. Conway raps about getting shot and having remember when bitches wasn't giving no pussy to me, been through it all. That's one of my favorite Conway tracks. It's like artists, and even me, like, I really put my struggles in the music because it's like therapeutic, but like when you've had everything handed to you and like you've been well off since you were like a kid, there's like your whole perception of like struggle and just life in general, like there's like no wisdom there in my opinion. Not saying that Drake is a total fucking asshole or something. It's just like you look at the world a certain way when you've grown up like that, and obviously I've grown up. I look at the world a certain way, the way I've grown up, right? So everyone has their own perspective and entitled to their own opinions, and whatever, man. Like, even though I don't rock with Drake's music, if you like it, you like it. Drake got some dope tracks out there. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Got like, I think the intro from Dark Lane, demo tapes. If you're reading this, is too late. There's like Drake's got good music out there. You know what I mean? I just don't understand why he has to do all this extra shit and jack people's sounds and aesthetic to be relevant. I don't think he needs that. I think he could just go like he could figure something else out and he'll be better off like than doing all this other bullshit. So I went shooting over the weekend with the homie and like the parents and like his family and all that shit. It was cool. We were all the way up in the high desert and it was all right, you know what I mean? I don't like shooting with other people. I don't like shooting with strangers. I don't know these people. They had some cool guns though. They had like a AR-15, M16 look-alike. They had a bunch of 22. You know how I feel about 22s. I don't like 22s. They had like a 22 Rugers. Then they had a 40 Smith & Wesson, which I wasn't too crazy about. I didn't like the design of it. It's weird. Like, I'm a hipster. Like, if I don't like how the gun looks, I'm just not going to shoot it. And had there been like a 22 revolver or something like that, or like a 22 Python, I definitely would have jumped on that. But the fact that some of the guns they had were ugly, that just made me not want to shoot them. The 40 is cool. The 40 has a little bit too much kick though, in my opinion. And like, I don't know. I just feel like 9mm is definitely the sweet spot. Like, it's not too light. It's not too heavy. It's the perfect round. You know what I mean? A lot of people, that's like the most popular caliber just in general for, I guess, everybody that carries, right? Or shoots. And then what else? They had a 30-30 lever action rifle. Oh, they had a lever action, they're like Ruger fans or something because they had a Mini 14. We have a Mini 14. They had Ruger pistols. They had a shotgun, which was cool. They had like a 2-shot semi-auto shotgun. That was fire. They had a pump, which I didn't shoot. I didn't get to shoot the pump. That was the only one I didn't get to shoot. And the M16 type shit. And then, what was it? They had a 22 lever action. I've shot one of those before, so I wasn't too crazy about that. They had a 22 semi-auto Ruger, which was cool. Like I said, I'm not too big into 22s. 22 rifles I like, but they had a 30-30 lever action rifle. They were chambering 30-06. They had the ammo for it, and that shit has a way bigger kick than the 308. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it. To put it in perspective, it's kind of like a 308 is like trying to tame a wild horse versus like a 30-30 is like trying to tame a wild bull or something like that. Like, this shit is not gonna be a fucking easy day when you go shooting. But nonetheless, I liked it. I was throwing rounds down, not too accurate, but it was just because the kick was crazy and I couldn't get it all the way. I couldn't get it dead on sights. Versus, when I had my Glock out, pretty much I was really accurate with my Glock, which is crazy because I have sprinklers on. I have the most accuracy I have with my Glock that day, but there's some days I'm not accurate with it at all, and I'll be more accurate with my 380 or something like that. So it really just depends. It really does, like, on what type of day we're having and targets and all that good shit. So All in all, it was fun. You know, we had a carne asada, and the reason why I didn't like being with other people is because they were like just talking for like an hour straight. So literally, I was just sleeping in my chair with my hat down until we were ready to do another round. And it was fun, man. We had a lot of guns on the table. A lot, we set up empty bottles, and what else? Just targets. We bought a target. So we're just having fun, just shooting, man. I really dig the fact that we could go shooting and practice and just get better. That's my whole thing. I want to get better. I don't care about shooting with other people really all that much, even though it's fun. Like, I want to get better. You know, I'm really competitive, and I really want to, like, as my skills, like when I need to use them for combat in real life, I could do it. You know, it's not gonna be no like, oh, I might hit somebody. Like, no, I'm gonna aim and I'm gonna hit you. Like, that's what I do it for. That's what I like at least. So just getting better, always practice. You know what I mean? Always, as a person who likes shooting, just always go out there and you can have fun. You know what I mean? It's having fun is number one, but also too, like, just put yourself in that situation. Like, they're gonna kick your door down, and you got your gun and you're ready to rock. So what are you gonna do with them 10 shots? Shoot them and hit them in the face. I'll never forget when I got threatened to shot. When I got threatened to get shot, I was looking for a dispensary. This is why I'm so glad I don't smoke or do drugs anymore, because I was in hella sketchy ass places. But basically, on Weed Maps, if you don't know, Weed Maps is a place where they show dispensaries and shit. On Weed Maps, they had shown dispensaries, and so it took me to this place that didn't look like a dispensary. There was a big fence, but it was open. So I'm like, maybe I just gotta open the gate. And I'm in there, and I'm like, this place kind of looks small for a dispensary. And I open it's like a big black gate. I open the gate, I go in, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, it's like an open kind of like dirt. It's like open dirt, like tall grass, and there's like one building. And I'm like, is this place closed down? Is this a closed down dispensary? So I'm like, maybe I should just go and check it out. As I'm approaching the building, a fucking dog, big black dog, comes out the side of the building. It's a big black German Shepherd. And that's where I knew I fucked up. And I'm like, oh shit. And I like froze. I just stood there, and the dog was sniffing me. Like, he was just sniffing me. And it was no threat to me, so I was no threat to it, so it was no threat to me. And I started like petting it and shit. And I see somebody come out of what I thought this building. It was a house. This guy comes out of his house. He turns on the porch light, and he says, chata, or whatever the fucking dog's name was. And the dog goes back to him. And I'm like, oh shit. So right there, I didn't run. I didn't want, to make it look like I'm a fucking robber, but I just started walking away. And I was like, that's when I knew I'm in fucking someone's front yard or whatever. Like, I'm on someone's property. So as I'm like leaving, and I hear the guy say, hey, or something like that. And he approaches me, and I don't remember. I think we were right outside the gate. So I'm outside of the gate, and he's like, hey man, he was telling me in Spanish. He told me in Spanish. He's like, what the fuck are you doing at my house, or some shit like that? And I'm like, oh man, I'm looking for some weed, and he's like, what? And I don't know if he was playing dumb or he just was like super paisad out and he really didn't know what I was trying to tell him. But I'm like Mota, marijuana, and that was when, this is before marijuana was legalized in California. So you had to have a medical marijuana card, which I did, and it was like the Declaration of Independence paper with like in cursive and shit. And it was I had my name, why I needed it, and all this bullshit. They don't really need it. At that point, you could have told them my fucking balls feel funny, and they would have gave it to you. You know what I mean? Like it would have. You could have told them, I can't sleep at night because my wife's a bitch, and they would be like, oh, okay, your wife's a bitch, and would have gave it to you. But I told the guy, I'm trying to explain to the guy, like, I'm looking for weed, I'm looking for a dispensary, or whatever. This is what this cocksucker tells me. He speaks English out of nowhere. Like, he knows what I'm saying. He goes, hey, I could get my gun and just shoot you right here? And when he said that, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what the fuck? Did this fool just threaten to cap me right now? So I'm thinking he has a gun on him. And I told him, this is all I could tell him. And like, I got offended when he said that. Like, I could just pull out my gun and shoot you right here. So I just tell him, have a good day. I turn around, and I start walking away. And as soon as I turned and I couldn't see him, I fucking booked it. I had my car like right around the block. It was like hidden in the cut, like on the corner. And I see a fucking truck coming in and pull into that house. They pull into the gates. I fucking hopped in my car. I turned the car on and I bounced. I was gone. I was like fucking Lightning McQueen. I was gone. I was out of that bitch in 5 seconds flat. I could have won the 100-yard dash or whatever in that shit. But definitely one of the sketchiest, probably the sketchiest time I've ever had looking for weed. I really thought I was going to get shot. But I made it and I survived, man. So I'm glad I don't have to deal with that bullshit anymore. This is like during the Wild West days of picking up weed in California. So yeah, shit is gonna happen. Message of the day, man, is just like be careful, be aware of your surroundings. Don't be doing no stupid shit. And if it looks sketchy, like if it's too good to be true, don't do that shit. Don't make the same dumb mistakes I did and try to like, force your way in a situation. Like I didn't even force my way. It was just more so like I was like looking for weed. Like I wanted to smoke some weed, and it just so happened that I ended up in somebody's house or somebody's front yard. So yeah, just be careful, man, and just be aware of where you are and always assess the situation. This is the God's Hour.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now.
While the angels fly over my headstone.